welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. In case you didn't know, today we have a new theme song. It's incredible. Here's what we got on the show today. Trump is canceling pay raises for top government employees, or just for federal employees of the government, which really does kind of suck. Trump's constant whining is reportedly turning Sanders against Jeff Sessions. We'll take a look at what happened last night in the New York governor's race with something pretty big. I'll give you a hint. Here's what else is going on. London has fallen, according to a racist new Wall Street Journal op-ed that is garnering a lot of criticism. We'll take a look at it. Now, the threats of violence against journalism and journalists are continuing today. As a man arrested the FBI for allegedly threatening to FBI arrested a man for allegedly threatening to kill the enemy of the people at the Boston Globe, which is a little bit disturbing. We'll take a look at some stuff going on with Beto O'Rourke and the wonderful, the incredible Andrew Gillum. That is today's show. All right, yeah, in case you didn't know, we got a new theme song today. I don't know if you could tell. But that's what's going on today. We got a brand new theme song for you, which is pretty cool because we have had the other one for quite a long time. And if you know what I'm talking about here, like if you know where this theme song is from, I mean, I don't know how good that makes you look. I was kind of trolling along for quite a long time for this story, for this theme song. Like for about an hour, I was looking like YouTube theme songs, news theme songs. Because the last one I got, full disclosure, it was from the old Keith Olbermann show that Keith Olbermann had on MSNBC, which is called Countdown. So that's what the theme song you've been hearing on our show for the past, for a long time. You've been hearing that theme song. I think since, coming up on a year. I think this winter is how long we've had it on. Like January, I think we put it on there first. But pretty much the point is, this is a new theme song, and if you know where it is, if you know where it's from, you're kind of dumb because that means you watch Brian Williams at 11 o'clock at night on MSNBC, or you're maybe an insomniac who happens to be desperate for information about what's going on with the Russia investigation. All right, so yeah, we got a lot of stuff to get into today, as on Thursday, President Donald Trump announced he had canceled the scheduled 2% pay raise, just 2%, for millions of federal employees due to take effect at the start of 2019. He called the pay raise inappropriate. Trump said the statute in the U.S. Code, which allowed him to cancel the raises of raises in cases of national emergency or serious economic conditions affecting the general welfare. Well, I did not see that coming. I did not know we were in an, I quote, national emergency or serious economic condition affecting the general welfare. I did not know that, but now that I know we are in that condition, I feel very well prepared, and I appreciate President Trump for letting me know that our country is in that situation, which to me is a little bit worrying. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit worrying, to say the least, that we have this entire situation taking place. But still, in a letter. So pretty much, let's take a look at what he said here in a letter to both the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate. Trump wrote, under current law, locality pay increases average 25.70%, costing $25 billion. That they would go into effect in January 2019. In addition to a 2.1% across the board increase for the base general schedule, we must maintain efforts to put our nation fiscally sustainable. And pretty much he says both across the board pay raises, he concludes, and locality pay increases will be set at zero. So yeah, pretty much canceling all government and federal pay raises there. Of course, the idea that Trump could cite fiscal sustainability and serious economic conditions to justify his Scroogey decision is all the more ridiculous considering last year's Republican tax plan, which he strongly backed, is expected to explode the deficit by hundreds of billions of dollars, according to estimate from literally his own government. So, yeah, if you want to know the situation we're in right now is apparently very serious to the health of our for the general welfare. It's very serious for the general welfare. Yeah. You built that situation. So if federal workers are wondering where the pay raise went, they have nowhere to look for but up. to Donald Trump. So those 2 million people are not going to be getting a little bit of pay raise this year. It is purely 1,000% Donald Trump's fault. A, because he canceled it, and the reason why he gave for canceling it, pretty much the deficit's too high. Like that's something he literally that's a problem he literally hand built. So it's pretty funny that he's now deciding he wants to go ahead there and cancel it, which is it's also very stupid, to say the least. But interestingly, the $25 billion Trump claims the pay stoppage would save is nearly the exact same amount he previously demanded to cover the initial costs of his oft-promised border wall between the United States and Mexico, and one he has continued to insist, very recently in fact, that Mexico will pay for. So, yeah, I mean, if Mexico's going to pay for it, why are we setting aside and taking the money out of the pockets of federal workers? Why are we setting aside money for this very, very unpopular wall and taking out of federal workers' pockets and putting it into the government's pockets to build this wall? So, like, that's some slime ball stuff. And, yeah, that's pretty much what most people are assuming at this point that he's using for. So Trump noticed that in his announcement that only civilian federal employees that would say their only civilian federal employees, of course, that would see their paychecks plateau. Weeks earlier, he'd signed a defense spending bill, which included 2.6% pay raise for the armed service members. According to data collected from the Federal Office of Personnel Management by Governing Magazine, there were more than 2 million civilian federal workers employed by the government as of last September. But I'm sure, hey, denying 2 million federal employees their expected pay raise won't have any negative consequences. Maybe, say, a deluge of leaks in administration that it looks like a sieve, or one more reason to vote against Republicans in the fall for this president. He's definitely got this all figured out. He's got this under control. There's no bad possible things that could come of this, except for the obvious fact that if he does budget that out for the purposes of the wall, which he said $25 million, and this is the pay cuts would save $25 million. He said he wants to budget that for the wall. He's paying for the wall with literally federal workers' pay raises. I'm not sure many people are going to be very happy with him, especially on the federal work side, and especially Democrats, if that gets publicized in the way that hopefully it will, and it definitely should. So we'll have to see about that. But that's going to be very interesting to watch down the road. So now we turn our attention to more things Trump's been doing today, and as we go through a quick little news blitz here. I'm going crazy with the soundboard today, but anyway, it's okay. Quick little news blitz. Let's do it. Jeff Sessions. That's a sound that should always be played when discussing Jeff Sessions, because he's up to some tricks again, maybe to save his job here. Is Republican senators are turning on Attorney General Jeff Sessions. He may be actually in trouble because Trump's whining is corrupting the Republican senators' minds. According to the one GOPA, Trump has whined about Sessions over the last 10 days to any senator who will listen, and it's understandable at this point they'd be really willing to do anything to shut him up, and that includes getting rid of it, pretty much. So yeah, Trump has raised the possibility of firing Sessions last week in a phone conversation with Graham, according to two Capitol aides, who said that Lindsey Graham had pressed the president to hold off until the midterm election. The president was already complaining loudly to Sessions, to several Republican senators. Several Republican senators, according to a GOP chief of staff. So please do it. Please, please, please do it. Fire everyone, please. You won't do it. You won't. Before the Republican, for the midterm elections. It really doesn't matter because the Republicans are most likely going to get their ass handed to them, at least in the House anyway, which is going to be pretty cool for us in the Democratic side. So, yeah, Senate Republicans have previously warned Trump not to dump Sessions, but Politico reported the senator's views of Sessions have shifted somewhat recently. Chuck Grassley and Lindsey Graham, the Senate wrote, are particularly frustrated that with his opposition to their criminal justice reform bill, inclining them inclining them towards considering Trump's calls to oust him. So they're possibly maybe considering it. So yeah, Graham even seemed to suggest publicly, that Sessions' time may be up. He went to CBS this week to talk about the tension between the Attorney General and the President. He said, quote, and this is a very telling quote in my opinion, the bottom line is that this relationship is not working. It's not good for the Department of Justice. And I really think this is probably one of the most telling quotes that Graham could have given here, because he says, the situation is not good. All right, we're kind of losing audio there. Yeah, he's like, pretty much, the situation is not good. And he very kindly, convincingly, easily tells you who's at fault. And that is simply Jeff Sessions and the Department of Justice. It's that simple. So yeah, Trump's antagonism towards Sessions has also affected the Attorney General's relationship with evangelicals who formerly adored his hard-right approach to governance. Jerry Falwell Jr., for instance, recently said that he urged Trump to fire Sessions. Trump's problems with Sessions began again in March 2017 with the recusal from the Russian investigation that led his deputy, Rod Rosenstein, to take over and appoint special counsel Robert Mueller, whose investigation has dogged Trump, obviously. Trump has never forgiven Sessions for allowing this to unfold. It's like, I need a loyalist. So yeah, he's still recused. That was a very big deal, and he's never quite been forgiven for that. Yeah. So, but Sessions' refusal to step into the investigation is hardly the only thing that Trump finds infuriating about him. According to Politico, Trump gripes to aides that he doesn't have an Ivy League pedigree the president prefers. He's the best people. Oh my gosh, that's funny. And he can't stand his southern accent, and that Sessions isn't capable of defending the president on television because, in part, he talks like he has marbles in his mouth. I love that. Oh my gosh. How I love that. Wow. Yeah, he's... Like, let's be honest, it's really because he's from the South. Like, these are the people who love, like, the majority of the Trump support is in the South or in the Midwest. But a lot of people support Donald Trump in the South. And they all sound exactly like Jeff Sessions. Imagine. And, of course, they probably will take a look at Politico and say, fake news. But the important thing is, like, this is... Like, and they're never going to realize this, so I don't really even know I'm saying it. But, like, he hates all his supporters. If you met any of his supporters in person, he'd be like, you're stupid, you're pathetic, get away from me. You're awful. You're the worst. Like, that's what his opinion would be of his supporters, because that's what it's all about. He hates those type of people. He hates them. It's incredible how much he hates them. But yeah, Trump's shit-talking campaign seems to also have reached the Senate. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who told the press, seems to have not reached the Senate. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell still supports Sessions at this time. So, all right, we now move to more fun things. Good news, ladies and gentlemen, Zephyr Teachout was big in the debate last night for New York Attorney General. Let's give a round of applause. Yeah, Zephyr. That's what I like to see. Yeah, great job for Zephyr Teachout today, or last night that was, in Hofstra, which is some pretty cool stuff. So, all right, so now on we go to the New York Attorney General race. One of my specialties, because it's my neck of the woods there. Interesting. So you may be wondering, why is Sean Patrick Maloney, sitting House member in a newly competitive New York district that Donald Trump won in 2016, running to be New York's next Attorney General? So, after last night's debate in New York City between the Democratic primary contenders, Maloney, Tish James, Leslie Eve, and Zephyr Teachout, the answer doesn't seem any clearer, or perhaps it does. Anybody who presumed, and this is the Intercept writing here, that Maloney was in a race as a Teachout spoiler came away from Tuesday's Attorney General debate with that impression only solidified. Teachout, is the real person in the race. No doubt about it. Shout out to Teach Out, because she I believe she was in Fordham